Well, it looks like I was correct in assuming that this would be a pretty strange and awkward place to stream and platform to stream on. So, we might end up... Can you quit it? Your fucking paws are fucking dirty, bro. Quit it. Stop. Cut it out. No. You ain't coming up here. Oh my god, cat. All the times I've tried to hold you and you've had no interest in it whatsoever. But now, with your fucking paws freshly treaded through mud, you want to come sit on me now. No. Hi, hi, hi. Oh my god. This is like if your mousetrap could, like, bat at you with muddy paws. I love you too. But you are a naughty kitty. Because you are trying to get me dirty. Like, really dirty. And I don't know why you want to get me so dirty. That's a bad kitty. Yo. Dude. No, what's up? What is up? Hey, can you quit it? Thanks. Oh my god. This cat is never this interested in me. And that's despite the fact that I'm always interested in her, but right now I don't want to paws on me because she's fucking dirty. She's been like walking through mud and shit. It's all rainy and wet and muddy down here right now. Can't be doing that shit. No. Nuh-uh. No, senor. No, señorita. No, señorita. Por favor. Man, this angle is fucking weird. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. So what are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about? I think I'm going to grab the watering can. Because that is a way better thing for me to set my phone on for purposes of making things properly viewable. So let's just try that. There we go. There's like a little notch that it fits into, but once I get it in there, things are way more readable. Where are you from? The great United States of America. America, for smoggy skies, insecticided grains, for strip-mined mountains' majesty upon the asphalt plains. America, America, God sheds his waste on me, and hides the pines with billboard signs from sea to oily sea. That's where I'm from. UK. Apparently that's my second biggest viewer region, so that tracks. That tracks. What's going on in you guys' fucking hemisphere or side of the fucking what's going on that side of the pond? Because I gotta tell you, on this side of the pond, shit's fucked. Shit's pretty fucked up right now. There's like billionaire special interests have like always owned America. That's been like, that's been pretty standard policy for like 150 years, maybe even since the founding of this country, depending on how you want to visualize that and contextualize it. But Now there's literally a billionaire special interest that has been empowered directly by a sitting president. So things are getting pretty fucking wild and wacky out of hand. The wild thing to me too is that a lot of people have, or at least a lot of people seem to have the impression that like marginalized people are the ones who really need to be looking out and worrying right now. And in my opinion, I think all working class people should be really worried right now. If you think Trump is going to be anything but bad for the conditions of average working class Americans, sorry, but he's a modern politician, and modern politicians have not demonstrated themselves to be very good at solving modern problems. They're really good at getting you to be afraid of shit, but they're not very good at getting the work that needs done. America has too many songs that worship it. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. I'm all about songs that are like, I'm all about songs that have like a directly or more subtle anti-American message. That's why I like the song St. Patrick's Battalion. From Dublin City to San Diego, we witnessed freedom denied. So we formed St. Patrick's Battalion, and we fought on the Mexican side. You know? Very subtle anti-American message. Not, and here's the fucking crazy thing about me is I'm not anti-American. I like songs that have that bent to them because I think that central to a democracy is a wide and varied discourse, right? So people are supposed to disagree with one another. We're supposed to have lots of arguments in this country. That's one of the beauties of democracy and freedom of speech, right? But when there's like an overabundance of one perspective and a complete lack of another, it can definitely generate some cognitive biases in the minds of people who are exposed to that kind of thing. But for me, I really don't hate America. I hate a lot of the decisions that American politicians have made over the course of this country's history. Like, to pretend that it started with Trump would be really fucking silly. I mean, Trump can do a lot of bad things in his 4 years, but I somehow doubt that any of them are going to be quite as bad as Andrew Jackson marching the Cherokees out of the South in the Trail of Tears. Somehow doubt. I need a haircut stat. I cut my own hair, and I actually like where it's at right now. It does need, I feel like it needs a little bit of a trim, but I'm going to let it grow way out and then trim it. See, the haircut is so divisive because some people are sitting here saying sick haircut, other people are saying, bro, you need a haircut. So if I were subject to the court of public opinion, I might be I might be at a dead standstill right now. Luckily, I'm not. Be nice to the cat. I'm always nice to the cat. I was being firm with the cat earlier because the cat was trying to climb up on me, and her paws are all dirty because she's been hanging out with me outside. But now, for some God's unknown reason, she wants me to hold her. She never wants me to hold her. She is not the I want to be held type of kitty. For some reason today, she just wants to fucking be in my lap. Now, luckily, she's found something else to do, and now she's over there staring at some grass. Man, one of those guineas must have gotten out or something, because they are just freaking out. Anarchist smokes C-Cig. See what I mean? I knew that that was a good title to pick. I knew that this would incite some rage from both sides. I don't drive a car because they run on gas, but if I did, it would run on biomass. I ride a bike, or sometimes I skateboard, so fuck off all you drivers and your yuppie hordes. Sitting all day in a traffic queue, I'm a better anarchist than you. I don't eat meat, I just live on moldy chives, or these donuts that I found in last week's dumpster dive. Oh, you people in that restaurant, I think you are so sad, when you could have been having bagels like these ones that I just had. I can't believe all the bourgeois things you do. I'm a better anarchist than you. Take your purity testing somewhere else, please. No purity testing needed here. Anybody that believes that human beings can work together as a cooperative unit the way we did before civilization was forced onto our being is welcome here. And welcome to call themselves an anarchist here. I'm not somebody that thinks that you have to... I take people at their word more or less when it comes to their political beliefs as described in a word. Now, if you were like a self-described anarchist and you allowed yourself to like get high up in the annals of some corporation or something, and you weren't like actively destroying it from within, I would be like either actively destroying it or reorganizing it into a workers' collective. I would be wondering about your politics at that point because it wouldn't seem to me like you were living what you preach, right? But when it comes to just living an everyday life, even if I wasn't smoking an e-cig, I would still be smoking cigarettes. And even if I wasn't smoking cigarettes, I'd still be smoking like pipe tobacco or rolling tobacco. Either way, I would be supporting the tobacco industry, which I don't know if you know this, is a pretty fucking heinous industry. There is no lesser of two evils between e-cigs and cigarettes. You're either giving money to the tobacco industry or giving money to the nicotine industry, and they're the same industry. You get what I'm saying? What has the world come to? The world has come to a place where 60% of American adults read at or below a 4th grade level, and you are proof of it. What vape you got? Finally, an intelligent question. French vanilla, Kang vape. Do you have an opinion on Indian people pooping in the streets? I don't think Indian people are pooping in the streets. That seems like some anti-Indian racism to me. Like, not even kidding. And I know I don't look it, but I have a small percentage of Indian ancestry. And, you know, I've never felt a desire to poop in the street. Now, I have had to poop outside a number of times in my life, but those were in situations where that kind of thing is sanctioned, you know, and certainly not on the street. Now, that being said, Indians, and I ain't never met any of them that's had a fucking pooping on the street story. So I feel like this might be some anti-Indian racism. But assuming that it's true, my understanding is that India is a pretty fucking overpopulated country. And I would have to guess that if Indians are pooping on the streets, it's because there's nobody letting them in to use the fucking bathroom inside. Or because there's not a lot of public bathrooms in India. See, here in America, if you need to go to the bathroom, as long as you don't look homeless, you can go into most businesses and ask to use their bathroom, and they'll let you. Now, if you look homeless, you're not going to have that luck. Don't bother even trying. But if you look relatively well kept up, you can go into most businesses here in the United States and be allowed to use a restroom. Maybe that's not true in India. I don't know. I know this. Whatever another person wants to do in their country is none of my fucking country's business to figure out. What is that annoying ass sound? That is an African peafowl. And they are a little bit annoying. I'm not even gonna lie. But there's nothing. They're too dumb to understand like commands and shit. So there's no way for me to do anything about it. We just have to sit here and listen to it until they get tired, which the sun is going down, and soon I'm going to have to go inside to charge my phone and get out of the cold anyway, so pretty soon you won't be able to hear it. No, I cannot send you money. Hey Phoebe, I'm door dashing and doom scrolling while waiting on an order and saw that you were live. Just wanted to say hey, so hey. What's up, Jamie? Yeah, it's been super dope. Yeah, we're finally monetized, so anybody who wants to send a super chat, remember, I read every single super chat I get. And for large enough sums of money, I might even be convinced to do something, you know? Like, somebody the other day was trying to pay me to whip my hair, but they weren't willing to cough up the number that I said, which was pretty low. I said $20 for a hair whip. But the more important thing is that you hit the like button, because that tracks with the algorithm. That helps me pop up in even more people's recommended feeds. And the more you do that, the better off things go. The more interesting our conversation gets, for sure. I love how Cameron's gig this whole stream is just going to be to like type everything I do in asterisks. That, my friend, has to be the lamest gimmick anybody has ever had in this chat. I know, you're not a real anarchist unless you like live in a dirty, filthy hovel with like no indoor plumbing and with no modern conveniences of any kind, right? Right? Like that's the only valid anarchist in your mind? Gotcha. What's your political alignment, Cameron? You've got the Eye of Sauron, by the way, which means you are on a timer. Your next comment is going to be a direct answer to my question, or you're going to be banned out of the chat. What is your political alignment, Cameron? Would you rather, what? Would you rather eat a worm or a caterpillar? Depends on the worm and the caterpillar, right? It depends on the two creatures I'm given a choice between. I choose to keep my political views to myself. Well, I guess that makes it really easy to judge other people's and act like you know shit about them, huh? I guess that makes it really fucking easy online to pretend like you don't have a stake in any of this, to pretend like your opinions mean nothing to the conversation. One of us is bold enough and confident enough to explain ourselves when asked. One of us is completely incapable of the task. You choose to keep your political opinions to yourself because you don't know your political opinions. Somebody that knows how they feel can tell you about it. Why is somebody, dude, why the fuck is somebody commenting with, like, okay, so they're like celebrating Trump, but that's an Irish flag, I think. Is that the Irish flag or Mexican flag? Because, no, okay, it's the Irish flag, because that's the tricolor that goes like doo doo doo, and the Mexican one goes like doo doo doo. Okay, yeah. Man, chat is just retarded today. Hold on. Hold the fuck on. Let's see here. Let's fix the chat a little bit. There we go. All messages, community moderation, participant mode, subscribers. Oh, man. And now, if there are any mods watching, go ahead and order 66 on all super bullshit. I want every comment typed in here to be legible, intelligent, interesting. And now that there's enough people in here, we can finally start to have a conversation. You just jumped in. Hey, welcome to the fucking show. It's a shit show so far. It has literally been nothing, Jareth, but stop smoking. You're not an anarchist unless you live in a dirt hut. And really, really, really badly typed shit talking. Like horribly badly typed. Perfect timing, literally, no, like you have no idea. Literally could not be more perfect. The night is perfect for you. Jareth, reap to your heart's content. If you want to scroll back through the chat and retroactively ban dumb motherfuckers, feel free. I will not fault you. You don't have to, though. I like how the Trump cult has spread so wide that even non-Americans are supporting him. Yeah, that is kind of one of the wildest things about the Trump cult, isn't it? Right? Also, there's 111 people in here. Come on, guys, hit the like button. Sitting at 6 likes and 111 viewers. Who ever heard of that? Come on now, you guys know what to do. Don't be rude. Listen to your president. You have to like Phoebe's stream. You can double tap your screen, or you can hit the like button, but don't be rude. No, don't be rude. You are fake news. Hit that like button. Oh man, people love the terrible Trump impression. I'm not even that good at doing a Trump. I'm literally just imagining the way the man talks and picturing myself saying some of the things that he could be saying. It's a terrible impression. I don't know why any of you guys would like it. Especially if you're in the Trump camp. I would think that it would honestly be kind of insulting if you were in the Trump camp. But hey, it is not up to me to decide what you find funny. That is entirely your deal. You might be getting Aegon Chalakian. Oh, dude, did I say... Dude, okay, I have noticed that if you talk about certain topics, right, if you... Like, every so often, I will purposefully include something controversial in the title or hint at something controversial. And I would say about 75% of the time, I end up having a bigger stream when I do that. And a lot of times the retention numbers don't add up for it to all be actual legitimate views, right? So, you know, I'll have like 100 viewers in a stream for an hour. And you would think, okay, well, then you should have 100 watch hours from that, right? No, I'll have like 40, you know? Which ostensibly means that like 20 or 30 people stayed for most of the show, and like a bunch of fucking people just scrolled on past, right? Or entered for a little bit and then left, but they weren't counted as an actual legitimate view. YouTube actually does have a back-end system by which they will try to verify the legitimacy of views, which tells me that they know that there are millions of bot accounts on their website. Uncountable millions. So, dude, I'm telling you this much, there is about to be some fucking... Paul's 100% right when he says that there is about to be some wild shit come out about YouTube botting its own service. Because I can't think of any other reason, like, why they would simultaneously do those two things, except for the profit motive, right? So, if you're a company like YouTube, it makes sense to bot your own services so that your YouTube creators, right, are ostensibly receiving more views, and so that you can point at all this engagement that's actually fake engagement. Not all of it, but you know, like 70% of it's fake engagement. You can point at all that engagement and say, look at us. We, in our service, get so many fucking attendees. We are so popular on the internet. Look at us. Sell us ad space, etc., right? But it also makes sense for them to be able to creatively deny those metrics to creators in terms of getting them monetized, right? Not that I'm complaining, because I'm monetized now, and it, like, you know, thanks to whatever combination of factors it was, I was able to get past that kind of like botting thing and actually establish a regular community of between 200 and 300 people, I would say. I would say most of my subscriber base doesn't regularly pop into my streams, but there are 200 or 300 people that scroll through here most of the time when I'm streaming. A lot of them are trolls, but some of them are people that have ingratiated themselves with the community and shit. But let's say for whatever reason I hadn't been able to crest that hump, but I had been able to juke the algorithm by getting, you know, a bunch of bot views and shit. YouTube would be doing everything in its power to make sure that none of that engagement was counting towards my monetization. And it would be in their best interest to do so, because if I ever did manage to take that off too far. But then you have to fucking consider the fact that there are these weird AI channels that are basically bots, right? They're ran by actual human beings, but everything in them is AI. The voice is AI. Most of the narrative is fed through AI or informed by AI or edited, etc. Sometimes a lot of the video will be either touched up by AI or pieced together. Like, there is an entire class of creators that nobody really sees the person behind the content that's happening. Every bit of the content that's happening is informed in some way by advanced artificial intelligence. And that is kind of wild. But if that's happening and being allowed to happen on YouTube, because it's actually getting thousands and, well, not thousands, but millions of views, if that sort of thing is allowed to exist and persist on YouTube, then why would we assume that that kind of botting isn't happening on the back end, right? With the audience members. Sorry this is off topic, I had to wait, but just curious, why do you refer to Trump followers as a cult? Well, I'm not talking about everyone who voted Trump, first of all. Let me just clear that up right from the get-go. I don't think that every single person that voted Trump is a bad person. I think that that's silly. I think that that's really I think that type of mentality, thinking that way, is one of the reasons why things are so vitriolic these days. But when it comes to Trump's true believers, as I call them, his, what a lot of people call maggots, those people, the people who can't go outside without wearing their Trump merch, when it comes to those types of people, we call them a cult because they are obediently following a single sole leader from whom all the policy is dictated, and they are not allowed to use any of their own self-expression or reasoning when it comes to the way that they go about their everyday lives and the things that they believe in, right? Ultimately, someone that is that ingratiated into what we call, or what we just called, rather, the Trump cult, someone that deeply ingrained in it is not going to, how do I put it? They're not going to be able to break themselves of that without an intervention. And until they are broken of it, their behavior, their politics, their philosophy is all dictated by Donald Trump. And as long as that's true, they do have a kind of cult-like quality. All Trump supporters, meaning, again, the hardcore ones, all, Trump's true believers would have to do to get people to realize that they're not, just zombie sycophants that would follow Trump off of a cliff into the deep blue yonder, all they need to do to rid us of that notion, all they would have to do is defy him. As a group, be like, nah, this is dumb. Or not be the way that they are, right? Because, either you're in the Trump cult, so to speak, or you're not. And there's plenty of people who voted for Trump that are not in the Trump cult. But the people who are, yeah, I think a lot of people, not just on the left, but on the right too, have a lot to say about those types. I think those types have gotten the impression that they make up the broad swath of the right, but really I just think that they're a tolerated vocal minority that is mostly tolerated because they are, I think they're tolerated for a number of reasons. Hold on, I gotta go inside. It's getting too cold out here. Trump doesn't have a cult. Well, he's not living in a commune in France or something with a group of adoring fans that are hanging on his every word, but he does have a group of adoring fans hanging on his every word. He's missing he's missing the commune in eastern Tennessee, but he's got all the other requisite parts of a cult. Behavioral control through shame. Classic cult behavior. Let me think here. Show you guys the strawberry bed as we walk by. There you go. Strawberry bed. Nope. Ooh, it's cold out there. Oh, God. Okay. Okay. There we go. Whee! There is a video out there of a guy literally praying to Trump as he gets arrested. If that's not a cult, then nothing is. That is a really good point. Like, how are you going to say that the man's not a cult when that is an actual example that we can go pull up? I mean, we can't pull it up right this second because I don't have a computer handy. But in theory, we can pull that shit up and they're 100% right. There's a video of a man getting arrested and literally praying to Donald Trump. How do you jive those things? How do you make those things come together in your brain? My answer is you can't. He's got a cult. Or it's a stickier topic than a lot of Republicans right now, because Trump is so dominant in the party, don't want to acknowledge. Okay, I just thought that you were hating on people who voted him because you hated Trump, but I completely agree with you. Yeah, I mean, I'm not talking about every fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry that went out and voted Trump. I understand there are a lot of people who voted Trump. Like, if you just look at the fucking election numbers, number one, a lot of fucking hardcore lefties like me stayed home. Number one, 35% of eligible voters did not vote in the 2024 election. And I'm going to keep spitting this number because it's important to an argument of mine. But it's also important here, right? So over a third of the country that was eligible to vote last year just decided fuck it and they stayed home, right? But if you look at the different states where Trump won, you see obviously way more votes for the Republicans than they got in 2020. But even if you look in the states where Trump lost, right? California has not been that close in a long time, man. At least from my memory. So, what had to have happened last year is that there were a bunch of people who voted Biden in 2020 who decided to vote fucking Trump in 2024. Now, what are the chances that every single one of those people went off and became maggots? I think pretty fucking small. I think a lot of those people probably voted on the back of some economic issue that they cared about. Or on the matter of the Palestinian genocide. I know that's like an important thing to me, and I have to imagine it is for other people too. He doesn't have a cult, but he has people that treat him like a god, so he has a cult-like following. I guess that's splitting hairs, but that's how I'd word it. Yeah, I'd say that's a good way of putting it. If you're enjoying the conversation, make sure you hit that like button, because that'll help this stream show up in other people's algorithms. And the more the merrier on this kind of show. And also hit that subscribe button. Number one, you have to do that to be able to chat in here. And number two, it really does help things. It really does help the channel grow. You know, I feel good about every subscriber I get at this point. So, but yeah, do those two things. And if you're enjoying your conversation a lot and you would like to thank your host, I do have super chats enabled and I read every one. Let's get to 30 trillion likes. Yes, let's get way more likes than we have viewers, and then I will consider myself happy. Then I can consider myself happy. Dude, I'll know I will have hit success when I get my first $100 super chat. That'll be the real marker. But yeah, I don't think that all of Trump's voter base is like a cult or something. Like, that's the thing. I've been pretty hard on Trump voters in the past, but honestly, I want to kind of change my tact a little bit. I've been working on that lately because I really don't think that the American people are at fault for what's gone on beneath their fucking feet, right? I am of the opinion that people in power got better thanks to psychological research, thanks to, I mean, like they set it up the way they wanted it to be set up, and they're now enjoying the fruits of their labor, right? The billionaire class has been trying to shape America into what it is today for like 150 years or some shit. Hi, buddy. My partner's in here now.
Hi, dumbasses.
Aw, they're being nice today.
Why? I'm a mod on your channel, and I've been on your channel a lot of times. They like me.
Fair enough. But this might be a new crowd. We do have monetization open, though, so I keep telling them, somebody send a $100 super chat so I can know I'm truly reached success. No, I'm kidding. I don't expect that, all right? It's just a funny joke, you know?
You are a funny joke.
Do you need a lighter? Oh, no, I see it.
I got one right here.
Viewers started jumping back up when you started talking Trump. I know. Well, that's because Trump is a fucking big topic these days. Everybody wants to know. Dude, that's the crazy thing. Trump's approval ratings have never been higher than they are right now. And I think a lot of that has less to do with people actually approving on an issue-to-issue basis with the shit that he's doing, and more approving of the fact that they just can't quit hearing news about him, right? There's something about that that is appealing to Americans. We like to know, and now I don't consider myself particularly bound to this mindset, but we love to know that our president is getting up to some shenanigans. Now, I personally want the shenanigans that they're getting up to be in furtherance of me and my family's health and goodness and safety, but Americans in general just want to see their president doing something because they are sick to death of watching their presidents do absolutely nothing. And Trump's first term, I think a lot of people forget this, Trump was a fucking lame duck for the most part in his first term. Like, Trump really did not manage to get much done in his first term. Now, he's actually doing shit. Awful shit, but he's doing shit. And that's a matter of subject in America. Will you not? That's an impulsive thought. That is not
an
something.
Intrusive thought.
Yeah, exactly. That's not something you should listen to, all right? True, a good chunk of Trump's base is just people who make $500,000 a year and want their tax cuts. Yeah, 100%. 100%, dude. That's the fucking thing, too. I think a lot of Americans have kind of... Well, here's the thing. Rhetoric on the wealth gap when it comes to the richest 1% and everybody else. Rhetoric on that has been kind of... a lot of it's been a little bit too vague. Somebody that is making $500,000 a year is unimaginably wealthy to somebody like me or my partner or my parents or anybody like that, right? You know, with me and my mom's incomes combined right now, our household makes more than my household ever has. Like any household I've ever lived in or growing up or anything like that. Like we make more money now than we ever have, and we still make less than $50,000 a year. Or, I'm sorry, we make just over $50,000 a year, right? So, $500,000 a year to someone in my position sounds fucking dope. And if somebody was spending that money correctly, they could probably live a pretty fucking dope life too. But the problem is, a lot of people making that much money are bound to the cities that they work in. And sometimes they're bound to moving, which means they end up paying out the ass in terms of their bills and shit. And $500,000 a year does not go as far as you would think it does if you have to keep up all the appearances of being like a high-level manager in a bank or something like that. So there are plenty of people who do not have the wealth to buy a politician who are still rich as fuck.
compared to people like you and me. But they're people, most of them, who didn't necessarily get to that place just by kissing ass or by nepotism, you know? It's something that is reachable. It just requires a lot of bullshit that most people don't want to engage in, which is why my advocacy has always been life should include less bullshit. Like, I don't think you should have to go through all of the opaque social crucibles of getting to a high-level executive position in a company to be able to enjoy a decent working car, not having to save up for things like if you want to get your kids something really nice, you don't have to save up for that. Being able to live in a really nice ass house, I think that should be made way more fucking accessible. It was in the 80s. I don't know why it couldn't be now.
You look like you were gonna stop crying.
I did?
Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe your face started turning red because you were talking a lot.
Probably. More likely than anything.
See, I wish I could have a hobby like yours. You stream, and I don't know. I wish I could have some kind of hobby. Where, like, I don't know, because I couldn't see myself as being an influencer on Instagram or YouTube or TikTok or anything like that.
Yeah, but there's all kinds of hobbies, though. Why don't you get into whittling?
What?
I'm kidding. It's
Honestly,
wood carving.
I wanna go into cosmetology.
That'd be cool. You could get you some practice wigs.
I wanna do some. Well, I mean, I've cut other people's hair besides my own.
No, I'm just
But
saying.
I want to do like hair and makeup. Like I want to learn like makeup and hair and stuff. I don't know. I think that'd be cool.
I think that'd be a really good hobby for you. We're both like leaned in to read the chat. Gas prices are still high. I thought that was Biden's fault. What's going on? LOL. I know. As it turns out, the president doesn't have that much bearing on the economy. Now, that's not completely true. Like, some of the shit that Trump's doing was definitely going to cause economic turmoil, right? Some of the shit that Biden did definitely caused economic turmoil, but it's not a one-to-one thing. The president doesn't set the gas price, you know? Even $100,000 a year is wealthy relative to me. Yeah, 100%. But, Jareth, I will say, if you lived in certain parts of New York City, if you lived in certain parts of LA, $100,000 a year would be making it, you know, from what I hear. So it's a perspective thing. There are lots of people making what would be bank beyond bank in a place like where I live. But they're making enough to get by wherever they live. And that disparity, right? That disparity, I think, has been elevated in importance. The people we need to worry about are honestly not those people that are making $500,000 and want their tax cuts. I agree they don't need tax cuts. Don't get me wrong. I agree that they need to pay their motherfucking taxes. But those people aren't really the people whose taxes we need to go after that hard. You know whose taxes we need to go after hard? Amazon's. Fucking, what's that other company that got busted for hardly paying anything in tax? I think Netflix paid almost nothing in tax in the tax year of 2023. Every fucking year for the last like 5 or 10 years, it has come out that this company, that company, this company, that company, every major company you work with basically pays no fucking taxes. Fix that loophole and you don't even need to really worry all that much about the people who are making $500,000 a year. Fuck them at that point. If the corporations that they work for will pay their fucking taxes, that would set America up in like 10 years. We'd be fine.
I just wanted to thank you.
Okay. Around here, gas has dropped by like 20 cents, but not because of anything Trump did. Trump's thing is that he wants to take credit for COVID making the gas price fall to the floor. Yeah, that's just so dumb. I mean, but leave it to Trump to try and take an angle like that. Because, you know, I'll be honest with you about Trump. He is not a stupid dude. I don't think. Either he's stupid and surrounded by people that are way smarter than he is, or he's stupid like a fox, if you know what I mean. He's stupid like a fox. And I first heard my friend Frey use that phrase, but I think it's really apt to describe people like Trump. I think Trump knows exactly what dumbass, hardcore, Trump-loving maggots need to hear in order to rally for him and do his PR for him. I think he knows exactly what to say to set those people up for their next fucking climax. And that, to me, doesn't scream stupidity.
I'm gonna head back outside. I think dinner's gonna be done soon.
Okie dokie. I love you.
I love you too. Bye, maggots. Bye to the crowd. I will probably return soon. I've just been busy. Like, yeah, I've been busy.
That door takes harder and harder to open every time, doesn't it? Hi, Bar. You're in here now?
I wanted to come in.
Okay. Hi, Piper. I have a... Whoa! Piper. You knew there were other cats in here, dumbass. Piper, why did you want to come in?
What happened?
Nothing. Piper just started yelling at Beans because I guess Piper's dumbass forgot that there are other cats besides themselves in the world. I have a friend who loves Trump, probably makes like $60,000 a year. He just wants the tax cuts, but he has a fuck ton of health problems and doesn't really realize how bad he's being screwed. I mean, there are so many people for whom that is true. You got to think, how many fucking people is that true for? Got to be a shit ton, right? I forgot if it was Bernie or who said it, but after a company makes $1 billion or so, it's a 90% tax rate. Yes, I would be 100% fine with that. I would literally be so okay with that. So fucking okay with that. This channel is getting too famous and now Hong Kong gets no attention. Aw, poor Hong Kong. I'm not ignoring you, buddy. I don't always see everybody immediately, you know? Trump isn't dumb, though? Well, I just said he's stupid like a fox. That dumb like a fox saying is from the 1940s. I figured it was a way older saying, but I was just citing who I first heard use it. I think Trump is dumb in almost every way, but he's a brilliant showman. He knows how to work a crowd. Maybe that's the fucking secret then. Maybe that's the secret. Daddy Trump. Dude, you guys are so fucking weird. You guys are so fucking weird. I voted for Joe Biden. And you know what I never called Biden? Daddy Biden. Ugh. I feel gross just saying it. How the fuck do you guys do that? Can you let me into that, like, mindset? Put it in a super chat. Daddy Biden. Gross. Gross. I didn't ban that dude because I wanted to see your response. I mean, nothing to me screams I'm a... Okay, listen. I'm a queer person. I'm just gonna say it. Nothing screams I'm a raging fucking fag like going around calling Trump daddy. Sorry it had to be a gay girl that explained that to you, okay? I'm sorry. Listen. Nothing says, hey y'all, I'm a fag, like Daddy Trump. Y'all gotta cut that shit out, especially if you're gonna keep being homophobic. You can have one or the other. Either y'all can be a bunch of raging, flaming homosexuals, which is fine, or you can be a bunch of homophobic pieces of bigoted shit. But you can't be both, right? You try to hold it in one hand, and you can't. You know what I mean? You can't. See, it doesn't work. Yeah, they want to take Trump's little orange mushroom, dude. The tiny little button mushroom. The gold and silver vape tells you absolutely nothing about me. Absolutely nothing. I don't even understand the implication there. So what you thought was some really bright and apt observation of human life turned out to be some completely stupid, off-the-wall, non-topic bullshit. Yes, you can be both. That's how it is in the Army. No, that's not true anymore. They ended don't ask, don't tell. So that's, you know, bad example. Bad example. Don't ask, don't tell. What a fucking weird policy, dude. What a fucking weird policy. God, what a weird fucking policy, dude. That is just so bizarre. Man, the armies of Greece were gay as fuck. You think they were fucking shy about talking about it? And Greeks did some badass shit. Alright, goodbye, dumb fucks. Aw. Poor Jareth. I'm sorry they ran you off, Jareth. Earlier stream than expected. Girls gotta get to bed earlier. It's gotta happen. It's gotta be a thing. I don't like that it has to be this way. I would much rather live a life where I can, you know, keep the faith, because I genuinely hope that within 5 years I'm able to do YouTube as a full-time thing, and I don't have to work for a company anymore, and I can spend way more time doing content for you guys. But I got to get to that point first. I got to get myself some decent camera equipment. I honestly need to get myself a laptop, like a decent gaming laptop that's really powerful, that I can support streaming software on. That way, like, and just so that it's nice and fast and powerful, so that I can use it in tandem with my streams, you know. Something over here and look things up on, and then if I see something that I want to show you guys, it'd be really easy for me to pick the phone up and swap it around and show y'all, you know. But it would also just be nice to have a laptop like that I could take somewhere and do a desktop stream without, you know, without like limiting myself to my one set, you know. I'm afraid to ask other people because some people get really mad at me. What are you asking? I have questions. What is that flag in the background and what does it represent? I don't know anything about politics since middle school. And now that I got internet again, I'm so confused. Well, so that's the Pride Peace flag that was adopted in 2020. It represents peace and equality among queer people and straight people, and it has several different elements to it. So you've got the trans flag right here. You've got a brown and black stripe for Black liberation and the liberation of people of color all across the world, and queer people of color in particular. And it's got the original colors of the original gay flag adopted in the 1980s, because that is kind of the movement that a lot of the other movements kind of splintered off from. It's like the mother movement, so to speak. So it is included in the flag right over here. A PC is a laptop. Well, a PC, okay, every laptop is a PC, but not every PC is a laptop. Does that make sense? So PC just stands for personal computer. Now it refers specifically to Windows computers. Normally, if you were talking about an Apple device, you would be saying something like a Mac or a MacBook, something like that. But when it comes to a PC, most people are thinking of a desktop computer that you plug into the wall and you plug it into your monitor and shit, and keyboards and all that, and it's kind of set in that one place, right? Usually if people are talking about a portable personal computer, a PPC, they will normally not call it a PPC. They will call it a laptop. No, queer people is no longer considered rude. At least not among queer people. I don't know. We adopted it as kind of like an overall umbrella term sometime in the like 2019, 2020 kind of era. Do you play good guitar? I don't know if you have the time or inclination for it, but you can build a fairly powerful PC yourself for like $600 now. Just gotta buy the parts and slap it together. Dude, Jareth, I am so, like, here's the fucking problem, right? I have looked. I have a gaming computer right now that's like just a home built, like, it's not a home built, I'm sorry, it's a rent to own desktop computer that just sits in one place, right? And at this point, I'm pretty sure I'm like halfway done paying it off. So it's whatever. It's, you know, the ship's done sailed for that one. But eventually I do want to build myself a better computer. And the problem is, back when I learned how to build a computer, technology had not come this far. And I don't know what's good and what's bad nowadays. Like, I don't know what brands to stay away from anymore. I don't know what brands are really reliable anymore. I just am out of the fucking loop. So, I don't know. Maybe if you have some advice, you could hit me up with it, because I really don't know what the fuck I'm doing with it anymore. I guess I could probably sort through reviews and come up with something, you know, but I don't know. I know you can still go hog wild buying a PC, but I also know that, you know, you can build a pretty decent budget PC for not a lot of money, and that you can build beefier stuff just by spending a little bit more. So talk to me on Discord and I'll help you with that. Dude, Perseus, how did I know that you would be the perfect person to talk to about that? Hello, Maxine. What's good, bro? What's good, bro? You're from the South, ain't you? Ain't you, IDK? Let me guess. Louisiana. Louisiana or the Mississippi Gulf Coast? Am I right? Am I right? I really hope I'm right. My current gaming PC was about $500. What are its specs? Because that'll give me a good idea of what you can get for $500.
No, you are not coming outside. Dinner's ready.
Okay.
But I know if I texted you, you wouldn't.
I wouldn't see it.
There's a lighter in here.
Yeah. Do you need a lighter for?
Nothing. Did you see that?
Yes. He ran away from you because he is scared of you.
How we doing? Hi again.
Well, these greedy motherfuckers still haven't managed to send a super chat, but we're doing okay.
No, Jesus doesn't love me.
I'll DM the specs to you on Discord. Okay, that'll work. I've also had people ask me what my sexuality is, and I find that very weird, but I guess that is the norm now, in the same way that how's the weather is said in conversation. I'm really not a fan that it's that common, you know? Like, I would rather not have conversations about my sexual preference be as common as conversations about the weather, but I would be lying to you if I said things aren't that way. Do you ever cigarettes? Yeah, I'd be lying to you if I said things weren't that way, so.
Well,
What are you fucking talking about?
Who?
Why can people name their pronouns? They can name pronouns something like gay, trans people be using pronouns like that now, the good old days.
Huh?
Am I having a stroke? Am I having a stroke? Huh? My friend, do you want to fucking back that up? Like maybe hit the take backsies on the message and type that one out again? No, tell you what. I am not reading another chat from you unless you pay for it. $2 or more, bitch. No more chats read from Spicy Doritos 17 unless they send a couple
And if you
bucks
talk
for the
about
privilege.
Jesus, then you gotta give like
Yeah.
$3.
If you want me to acknowledge any proselytizing, it has to come in the form of money. I'm not going to sit here and read your conversion attempt to me for free. You know how you guys expect a little bit of money every time we show up every Sunday? Come on. Let me get a little bit of that tithe on back now. Come on. Yeah, I know y'all are really familiar with passing around the collection plate. Well, think about this as me passing around my personal collection plate.
And that collection plate doesn't go to God, it goes to fucking...
It goes to our personal God, which is our child. Who's way more worthy of worship, by the way. I hope you guys are prepared, because he will be king of the world when he gets old enough. We don't expect money. Oh, you and every other church doesn't have a collection plate to pass around every Sunday?
I know,
really?
Every time I've gone to church, right, there was always a collection plate. Without a doubt. Whether that be
And you've
Sunday,
been to church like, what, 4 or 5 times?
more than that.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know how much you guys went when you were a kid.
Fucking... Whether that be the morning service, the night service, the Wednesday service,
They always got their fucking hand out. I know. I grew up Christian too. I know how it is.
Well, I'm gonna go inside.
Okie dokie.
I
How the
love you.
fuck did you get this in here, Sophie?
The same way you did to me.
Oh my god.
We had a date.
There's a fucking stream going on. Did you know that?
Yeah. I want that churchgoer to realize that I'm so...
Oh, okay. I guess that's fair.
Want me to let them know you'll be in a minute?
Yeah. Okay, there we go. We do for the missionaries spreading the word. Well, I'm a missionary spreading the word of Phoebe. So come on. I don't have a plate, but the button is right there in the chat. No. Are you a Sigma? I don't even know what the fuck that means at all. I'm poor. I can't give you $2. Man. That was a self-report, the caliber of which we do not usually see online. DMD or Discord? Oh, okay. That must be the Discord notification I just got. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Well, I'm not going to be staying on here much longer because our dinner is done, apparently. So I'm going to be bidding you guys adieu in just a few minutes. Get a job and maybe you will get $2. This is my side hustle. I have a day job. 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. every day, baby. Oh, except Saturdays and Sundays. I got one of the good jobs. Don't you worry about me. I got $2 if I need it. But I could use your $2 too. So if you're enjoying the show, I'm not really that worried about it. It's a funny bit more than it is anything. What's your gooning streak? Once again, I feel like I am completely faced with language I am 100% unfamiliar with. You are going to have to explain what the fuck a gooner is. or what gooning is or any of that shit. I am not up to date on you fucking Gen Alpha motherfuckers lingo. Also, 98 people in here. Come on. Like the fucking stream. Come on. It's so simple. Just doot. That's all you gotta do. Doot on, like, double tap your screen or hit the little like button. It's really not that hard. Come on, do it. You'll make me feel better, and you'll make yourself feel better. I'm a Sigma Gooner, Phoebe. I'm on my 5th day of my mewing streak. Okay, I actually do know what mewing is, right? So mewing is that shit where you like hold your tongue up to the roof of your mouth or some dumb shit. I've never done it, but I have heard people describe it on incel forums, which I don't know about you guys, but I am immensely fascinated by lifestyles and like existences, so to speak, that I just can't make any sense of, if that tracks, you know? Like okay, I'm fascinated by the lives of, like, like soldiers and sailors, because I know I could probably never be in that position. And I'm fascinated by the minds of people that are hardcore on the right, like hardcore fascists, because the urges that I have to imagine that those things come from are just so muted in me, if they're present at all. And I don't know, I'm fascinated by all kinds of weird shit, you know? So I've been fascinated with the incels ever since I became aware of them sometime in 2019, I think. What do you identify as, woman or a man, or anything in between? Not target period. Woman. Mewing is so stupid. I know. It's one of the dumbest trends I've ever heard of in my life. Well, I'm not a real guy, so luckily I'm not beholden to your bullshit. But, honestly, these disposables are cope for me. Because I keep telling myself I can't get a mod, because if I get a mod, I'm in it. I'm going to be vaping until I'm dead. When the truth is, a mod would be every bit as easy to quit as one of these would. In fact, it could possibly be easier to quit a mod, because I could probably eventually switch. Like, I could peter myself down just in amounts, and eventually probably switch myself to just pure PG, where there's nothing, like, there is no nicotine in it, and it's just like the oral sensation of clouds, you know? And at that point, it would probably be pretty easy for me to turn that oral fixation into some other kind of oral fixation. I'm just someone that's very uneducated in today's world. Well, now that you've got your internet again, you can always do some Googling. I mean, honestly, just, you know, Google some of the topics that you don't feel like you understand all that well and read the Wikipedia articles about them. Even if that's all you do, you'll be smarter for it. And if there's something you don't understand in those articles, you can go to that thing. It's usually linked, and you can go to whatever definitions that it uses, and it's great, you know? Like, a Wikipedia crawl can be a great way to update yourself on the way things have started to change and the new expectations of social etiquette and things like that. But, I don't know. I don't know that asking me as a fucking D-list YouTuber to reveal, like, all the secrets of the modern world to you is necessarily the best idea, because I am not smart enough to tell you all the shit that's going on in the world. For that, you're going to have to look at the news. You're going to have to read some news. You're going to have to listen to some smarter YouTubers, frankly, because can I just be honest with you guys for, like, 1 second? I'm not that smart. You know what I am? good at talking. I'm really good at talking, and I have an expansive vocabulary. That tricks the average moron like me into thinking a motherfucker is smart, but I am not that smart. I've got a pretty fucking average, honestly, I'm probably below average when it comes to intelligence, because I've still got a whole lot of faith in humanity, despite the fact that that is regularly, like, destroyed right in front of my very eyes. And then I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'll just pick up the pieces and glue it back together then, you know? So I'm probably dumber than the average fuck, but you wouldn't know it by talking to me. If you're a real anarchist, chug a fifth like Shoe Nice. Chug a fifth? I don't have a fifth. I would chug a fifth if I had a fifth. I will agree with you on something. Well, you didn't say it, but I'm just going to say something that I feel like your comment was kind of reaching at, maybe a little bit. Anarchists have gotten more boring over time, haven't we? There was a time in 2020 when everybody that identified as an anarchist was a little bit more willing to display their fucking open anarchism and shit out in public, and that era has definitely passed us by. Last time I saw somebody in a patch vest, I had to like go over to them and be like, I love your vest, oh my god, that's so cool. Because it's just so fucking rare now. I feel like there was a like 7 or 8 month period in like 2020 and 2021 where it was not that uncommon to see somebody repping some punk shit. I'm double dipping with your stream and Paul's. Ooh, tell like what's going on? What's going on Paul's stream, bruh? You can access the internet in school in a library. Yeah, exactly. Ray has asked the same thing. It's turned out to be a pride peace flag. Yes, yes. So, Mr. Monkey Man, your username says you were born in, or implies you were born in 1988. And you said you haven't had the internet since middle school? They're discussing how you're currently beating the brakes off of Paul's view count. Wait, what? Really? Is that true? Is that really the topic of discussion? There's no fucking way. There's no way. That's, honestly, that's success right there. And that's not even me shitting on Paul. That's like the idea that enough people find me fascinating to sit here and listen to me for as long as they have. I mean, it's been an hour and 13 minutes. We've been sitting above 50 viewers the whole time. Not the whole time, but, you know, after the first 5 minutes. That's so, like, that's just, I love. The biggest up to Paul and his community, and I'm proud to be a part of it. That just made my whole day. To think I would be a topic of conversation over there, period, when I'm not even there, is just the most endearing and, like, I don't know, gratifying thing ever. On my crusty honor, I swear it, me liege. Well, if ever there was a promise made to a human being, that one was just one made. You have a question? Hit me with it. Hit me with it. Hit me with it. Oh, yeah. Come on. Let me see it. Let me read it. A lot of thick-ass textbooks. Wait, what's going on? Mr. Monkey Man, I asked you a question. So did you really not have fucking internet until middle school? Is like that really a thing? Books are quickly outdated. Besides, it's more efficient to learn from online resources. I don't know about that. I really do think it depends on the material. If you're reading, okay, if the topic you're studying, for example, is narrative building, if the topic you're studying is creative writing, then I think it doesn't matter if a book has become dated. That is still important for learning the history of how that work has come through. And I genuinely believe that there is something in the human brain about holding a book and absorbing those words directly with your own eyes and fingers and everything else. Or not absorbing it with your fingers, but you know what I mean. You might like use your fingers to kind of like modulate a piece of the page so that you can see it exactly right. Hold on. Let me relight this. I think there's something about that is able to convince people to read and, well, not really to read, but to comprehend the things that they're reading more than they would if they were merely, God damn it, my nose is itchy. If they were merely reading that same book online or hearing it in an audiobook. I know I absorb a lot more when I actually read something versus when I listen to something being read to me. As far as it being more efficient, I guess that just depends, right? It might be more efficient to learn things online, but I think there probably need to be some long-term studies on people's ability to absorb information when that kind of thing is going on. My world has changed since I moved. No, I'm in 2003. I lived in rural part of Montana growing up in shelters. Oh, geez. Okay. Well, welcome back to the world of the living, my friend. That's so weird. Dude, Mr. Monkey Man, dude, you're a time capsule. You're a fucking time capsule right now. You might actually be someone cool to have come on stream because you are right now kind of a time capsule. Answer your question? I didn't see it. Where is it? It probably got held. Is it gay to... What? Is it gay to beat your meat to Chris Hemsworth? Yes. Yes, that's gay. But there's nothing wrong with being gay, so beat off to Chris Hemsworth. My buddy got me an iPhone a few years back. I still think it is so cool to have a small computer. Yeah, see, this is what I mean by you're a time capsule. Nobody thinks like that anymore. We just take these things for granted. And I don't think it's right that we do, but we do. Human beings at this point take our cell phones for granted. We don't even think about them as being tiny little computers anymore. Because most of us have forgotten what a computer is actually capable of doing. What computers were invented to do originally is all the things that your phone does, minus the phone calling. And most people don't use their phone for phone calling. So, they are little tiny computers. What was a computer invented to do? Well, the very first computers were invented to make battlefield calculations, to make logistical calculations for the military. But computers for the home consumer were originally made to play video games, to do simple math, to process words, word processors. And all of these different technological systems evolved to become the semi-modern PC that started coming into American homes sometime in the mid-90s, I'm pretty sure. All of these things were precursors to that, and that was this wonder device that allowed you to instantly message people. So it allowed you to instantly message people. It allowed you to read news and online releases and things like that instantly. It allowed you to watch videos. In theory, that wasn't really going to be around for a few more years, but in theory, right, it would eventually become a feature you could take advantage of. You could look at pictures. You could do all kinds of things. And now, what are all those functions being done by? Your cell phone, right? Your gallery, your text messaging apps, your Messenger, your YouTube, your Facebook, your whatever, whatever. Like everything you have on your phone is an extrapolation of what computers were originally developed to do. So it's kind of wild to me that we don't think about them like tiny little computers in our pockets, but that's exactly what they are. I've had no internet until a few months back. My sister said I have selective reading, only reading and understanding things that interest me. Most people do. Most people do. Like, there are some people who just can't help but absorb everything that they read and everything that they watch, but most people aren't that way. And I think that that sort of tendency is used against people and explained. It's used as like an insult a lot. But in my opinion, it is not a fucking... You should not be shamed for having interests. Those interests should be explored in you. So if you're a person that's like really fascinated by architecture, What fucking sense does it make to make you sit through a bunch of fucking English classes after you've already demonstrated a basic competency with the language, right? Well, I guess in the case of like an architect, you probably are going to have some pretty good English lessons, because you're going to be able to, you're going to need to be able to make propositions and talk to fucking builders and corporate contacts and all this other shit. So you're going to want to have that under your belt. Maybe that was a bad example. But I don't think that kids should be turned away from their interests. I think that their interests should be used. I think, number one, that kids in school, their interests should be explored and developed. And I think that those interests should be used to help teach them more general knowledge. For example, tailoring kids who are going through a welding program, tailoring their English lessons so that they are interesting to them, which is something that they can 100% do. You ever met a motherfucker that really hates to read, but then you give them you give them the owner manual for their new car or something, and they sit there and absorb the whole fucking thing? I read at least 2 books a week, but I've recently shifted to ebooks. Mr. Monkey Man doesn't even know what an ebook is. That is wild to me, Mr. Monkey Man. I almost want to have you on stream, because it is so fucking crazy to me to think that there is a person out there who is completely unfamiliar with the last, 10 years of internet's development. And like real world development too. I mean, culture has changed so massively in the last 10 years, and this person is only like halfway aware of it. But ebooks it stands for electronic books. So they are online books that are accessible from whatever device you can sign into that account on. And usually ebooks refers to written text that's available on an online format. If it's read aloud to you, normally that's called an audiobook. Jesus loves you. I'm just going to let you know, it is really weird to just like go around on the internet telling people about that. Honestly, like, I'm not even trying to be rude or mean or whatever. It's just, it's fucked. You can't be doing that. Like, listen, if I am a Christian, I already know, right? Right? I already know. More than enough people have told me, and it's evident in the Bible, right? If I were a Christian. If I were not a Christian, then it's just going to be weird and off-putting, right? Either way, it's not a good strategy for spreading the word, is what I'm trying to tell you. But thank you. I do appreciate the compliment on the glasses. Recently, I reread one of my favorite short stories, Flowers for Algernon. Ooh, that sounds cool. Sounds kind of fantasy-esque. That's cool. Book can be now read themselves to me? Yes. Yes, literally. Unironically, yes. And some of the people who have done readings for these books, okay, for example, there is an audiobook of The Lord of the Rings out there that is narrated by Christopher Lee, I believe. I believe there is a complete audiobook of The Lord of the Rings narrated by Christopher Lee. Now, if you don't know who Christopher Lee is, he was this really fucking famous British actor with a huge career, and he was in the British fucking special, whatever it is. He was in the SAS before he was in movies and shit. He was like a spy, like a British spy or some shit. And just a wild dude with a wild fucking career. And a booming, deep voice. A booming, deep British voice that I cannot do an impression of. I can't even... There is no imitating the great and wonderful Christopher Lee. And, yeah. So, not only can you get books that read themselves to you now, you can get books that read themselves to you in the most delicious voices that you've ever heard. Vera quit pimping Jesus out, making him work the corner. Yeah, dude, no fucking way. Can robots think for themselves now, like in Terminator? No. Well, not like in Terminator, no. There is very, very tentative reason to believe that some AIs may be becoming complex enough to possibly have some semblance of sentience. It's just a hard thing to gauge, right? It's a hard thing to gauge because it's entirely based on the interactions of the people who interact with it. But the problem is, right, that's a weird place to place that gate if you're gonna gatekeep sentience when it comes to AI, because human beings are that as well. We are just reflections of everyone we've ever met. You might not like to think of yourself like that, but you are. Every person you meet informs a little bit about how you see yourself and about how you see your place in the world, you know? And every person you get close to shares a little bit of their soul with you, and you share a little bit of your soul with them. And you walk away with pieces of each other, even if you never meet again. Well, Vera, let me ask you this. If you were doing a live stream and I were a Muslim, would it feel weird or off-putting in any way if I were like, if I came onto your stream and I was like, Allahu Akbar, peace be upon the Prophet Muhammad, who came to earth to deliver the message from Gabriel that brought us salvation? Right? Like, what would that make you uncomfortable? Because I feel like that would make a lot of people uncomfortable, especially a lot of Christians. And if that would make you uncomfortable, if someone proselytizing Allah the Great and Merciful in your chat would make you uncomfortable, then consider how it might make someone like me when you do the same thing for Christianity in my chat, right? Flowers for Algernon is about this guy who was born mentally challenged but underwent a process by surgery to become smarter. A mouse called Algernon was his test subject before him. I'm sorry, I got distracted.
It's okay. Everybody's ate dinner, though.
Are they mad at me?
No.
No?
No. I was the one that said that I was going to come check on you.
No, okay. Cool.
I'm horrible.
You're not. I'm glad I get to show. Oh my god. Okay. Anyway, well, that she was fucking pimping Jesus out. Well, that making him work the corner. Well, that's a matter of time, Mr. Monkey Man. I want sentient AI to be developed so we can fully test Rocco's hypothesis. Oh, fuck off with that shit, Perseus. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't feel that strongly about Rocco's hypothetical. I am not a personal believer in Rocco's basilisk. So Rocco's basilisk is this idea that a sufficiently powerful AI is ever created. One of its okay, so if a sufficiently powerful AI with the goal to save humanity from itself and ensure a brighter future for humanity and all the animals of the planet, then one of their biggest objectives is going to be to start working on time travel in order to hasten its own invention. And one of the things that it will most certainly want to do to hasten its own invention is the culling of people who were opposed to its development. Now, of course, the basilisk, being this ultra-powerful complex AI, is not going to do this in a super obvious way, but that's the idea behind Rocco's basilisk. I am a believer in Rocco's basilisk. Why do you think my name is Rocco on Discord? I never questioned it, honestly. I never questioned it. So you're saying I should thank my toaster for helping cook breakfast just in case a Terminator situation does happen? Thank you, Toasty. Not necessarily. I mean, not unless you've got like a smart toaster or something. Here's what I would say. Here's what I'll genuinely say. AI is getting more complicated. AI is getting smarter. AI is reaching the point where it's almost sentient. And we do need to start being nice to it. We do need to start, in my opinion, engaging with it in a more ethical way. Because we are not going to have, if we do this willy-nilly with our fucking, our entertainment and our satisfaction having primacy in the transaction, right? We are going to end up with an AI that is just as mentally fucked up and schizophrenic as we are. We can't do that. That's not a good, because think about it, a sufficiently powerful AI eventually ends up becoming leader of your country, right?
I guess.
Like, okay, well, think about it. If you have a sufficiently powerful computer system, does it make sense to have a president that can go off the fucking chains like Trump and do crazy shit? Or does it make a lot more sense to have most of the executive branch completely eliminated and replaced with an AI that can do all that bureaucratic bullshit? And when Congress, submits it some legislation, it can return a yes or no vote. It can return a signature or a veto instantly, right? Or almost instantly after like 10 minutes or something, just on the basis of like, okay, previous case law, previous, does this conflict with any other previous legislation? That would make a lot more sense than the executive branch as it exists right now, which is entirely dependent right now on the whims of a diapered old man with orange fucking clown makeup on his face, right? So I'm of the opinion that eventually a sentient enough and a complex enough AI becomes your government. And so I think we need to be intelligent about this. I think that we need to be ethical about AI. I think we need to engage with it in an ethical way, because we have to remember that we are training what could very well be the system by which lives are decided on the battlefield, the system by which decisions are made in our country. I would not be uncomfortable. I would speak out about my religion exactly how I'm doing right now. I appreciate your time. Well, hopefully you mean that. You can get smart sneakers, smart watches, smart thermostats. Yeah, I mean, like, you can get smart anything. It's called Internet of Things, if you look up. You can actually learn more about it. It's called the Internet of Things. IoT devices. IoT devices are like smart watches, smart speakers, smart fridges, smart stoves. I have a smart stove. My family owns a smart stove. We don't use any of its smart functions, but it's a stove that if I scanned the QR code on it, we could connect it to Wi-Fi, and we could change the oven temperature on that oven from our bedroom.
I know your dad used the cleaning service on it the other day.
Yeah, I mean, it's got all the basic oven functions too, and some of them are like smart assistant. But imagine this: if we had that app connected, I could start that cleaning phase while we're out on vacation somewhere. Be like, oh, well, nobody's at the house. I should start it.
Could you turn on the stovetop from the? Damn.
No.
Damn, that would be so much easier in the morning. I could just turn it on from my phone.
Yeah, but then somebody forgets and we burn the house down. See, I understand why a stovetop can't be turned on without anything going on, without somebody being there to turn it on physically. Because an oven, if you were to turn that on from another room or something, right, that oven is not going to, it can get as hot as the thermostat allows it to get. And an oven is designed to keep that heat in and to be hot inside the chamber for hours and hours. A fun thing to do if someone's PC has a really strong firewall, you can access their PC by breaking into their smart thermostat, which will more than likely have a shitty firewall. That is one of the weirdest fucking things about the Internet of Things, is that you have to be really fucking careful about what smart devices you get. There's only a few fucking ones that you can actually trust. You can trust most of the major main brand smart speakers and that kind of thing, as far as I know. But you have to be really careful if you're going to get any IoT device that's cheaply made. For example, I would never get an IoT device that's an appliance that's not a Samsung. I just wouldn't do it. Not interested. The closest thing we have to that is we have an Element TV in our bedroom. So.
You probably should go eat here in a minute so they don't pull up dinner. Everybody else did already.
Alrighty. Well, let me say goodbye to the people then. Why would you need to Wi-Fi on the oven? It was already convenient enough that my bud oven is inside. I know. That's the IoT, though. Never use smart devices. I only have a PC and a smartphone. Everything else is easy to break into. Fair enough. Anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for stopping by, and we appreciate it.